Hey, the thumbnail is a joke. I actually think that New World skins sometimes aren't that bad, but I saw that image and I enjoyed it, so it's the thumbnail, right? Just let's move on. However, they have just done a Forged in Eternum where they talk about skins, and this is quite a controversial issue in the New World community, isn't it? A lot of us have said that some of the skins leave a lot to be desired. So what did they talk about in the Forged in Eternum? Well, a little bit of info, right? They're obviously not going to sit there and be like, hey, we've made some terrible skins, we're not going to do that in future. But they do say that they sometimes hit challenges and they have made mistakes and they're going to try and course correct. They say that they look at the feedback and they look what people are enjoying, and they're going to cater towards more of that and move away from the other ones that people aren't. The one problem with that is some people buy the crazy looking skins because they're crazy looking, right? That's part of the fun of them in a way. They're almost so bad that they're enjoyable. Now, I just want to say, I don't hate all of New World skins. They actually make some pretty decent skins. A lot of the art that they show off in the video, most of the outfits, I was like, you know what? They are really, really good. Some skins are fantastic. Really, it's the outlier skins that when you look at them, you say, why did you make that? What is that? That doesn't fit. It doesn't feel like it belongs. It's probably not an aesthetic that most of us want. And unfortunately, they literally catch the eye, don't they? They're so jarring and maybe garish, if that's actually a word, that people are instantly drawn to them. And really, if you take away the worst 5% of the skins, the rest of them I don't think most of us would have a problem with. We'd be like, all right, they look decent, we're happy enough with that. I do think there's maybe a little bit of a clash between what us as the players want versus what the developers think we want. I sort of have a feeling that a lot of us want more like classic fantasy, maybe like more medieval, proper sort of grounded stuff rather than butterfly wings, but maybe I'm wrong there. The worry is that if they lean into the ones that people are buying, as I mentioned earlier, that maybe they'll go down the wrong path, but hopefully they're going to account for that as well. There are obviously some limitations when they are designing skins, but I don't necessarily think these are the things that people have an issue with. For example, they spoke about that they need it so that if you're wearing a chest piece, that it needs to fit with many helms. It has to clip at the sort of same point, basically. It has to end at the same point. I'm sure that designing skins and being that kind of artist is not an easy task. I would not want to say that it is. Assuredly, that seems difficult. They also have to try and respect each other's culture, right? You can't go making something that's offensive these days, or you'll get chastised for maybe stealing other people's culture and like using them for profit. So all kinds of like minefield that they have to run, and I don't really envy that, right? It does seem quite challenging. They did talk about how they're trying to make it so that all of the buyable skins will be dyeable, and that's something we heard in one of the dev talks, but it sounds like they may not have that ready for transmog. I was sort of hoping it would definitely come, but the way that the devs were talking sort of sounded a little bit unsure about that, which is interesting because they did talk about how the end game is really about cosmetics. How cool do you look? Being able to dye skins will really allow players to show their creativity a lot more, because quite simply the ones that you have in game you can't really control, right? If you don't wear a skin, then you're a little bit limited in how you can look if you still want stat. Whereas wearing the skins, you then have the freedom to be like, okay, I can still have this piece of gear and this piece of gear and still look great. Transmog obviously is going to somehow blur that line. We're not 100% sure how transmog will work. It sort of sounds like to me, and I think it might have been data mined, that there might be a transmog token. Whether or not that's paid for or what have you, we obviously don't know. But transmog, dyeable, paid skins, that's going to very much free up the end game cosmetic culture for the players, basically. So yeah, like there's not much they're going to say, right? They're not going to be like, these are the worst skins we made. And they have made some bad skins. I don't mind saying that. I think that's true. But as I said, I don't think all of the skins are bad. And I do think they could do a better job. Somebody somewhere could do a bit of a better job deciding what to do. And I'm not saying it's specifically these devs. I don't want to make any statements like that. But as I also said, I think if you take away just the really awful ones, then the rest of them probably wouldn't be really drawing that much attention, which is both good and bad. So what you actually want is that people want to buy because they look fantastic, and New World I do think misses that a little bit. So I don't want to be too harsh, but I don't want to give them a free pass either. I think they can do a little bit better. And the awful skins, well, sometimes they're a little bit funny. But yeah, I've not got really much else to say on this one. There's not really much to say, so I'm going to ditch. If you want to support me and help me grow the channel, becoming a YouTube member is truly the best way. Otherwise, you can come follow me over on Twitch. What you should definitely do is have a most beautiful day, like and subscribe. Goodbye.